Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to a Wednesday night weekly ranked event here in the RaceRoom. This is the North America RaceRoom Discord Twitch channel. If you're watching here on Twitch, or if you're stopping by here while we're live streaming on Twitch, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully everything looks good. For those who may be watching later on YouTube, thank you to you as well for finding out the YouTube page of the North America RaceRoom Discord community, and thank you for finding this video or finding past videos and watching it through. Hopefully, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and we'll keep trying to do as many streams and videos as we possibly can. So, but this evening we're gonna have 90 minutes of action that are going to feature the GTR1s and GTR2 classes. So multi-class here on Laguna Seca. If you're familiar with Laguna Seca, it is a fairly decently long track, but it's very narrow. At least it seems like it's narrow. It's gonna be hard to find a place to really pass, especially with the multi-class action going on. So the GTR1s will be much faster than the GTR2s, and they'll have to find their way, obviously, around the GTR2s once the lap traffic starts to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how easily they can make their way through the field once they get to the back end of the GTR2s. It'll be interesting to see how the GTR2s react to either, let them by easily, or will they kind of make it, not on purpose, but kind of make it hard for them to get by as they're racing others in their class to obviously move up in the positioning. So it will be crazy, like it always is when it comes to multi-class action. So the server's up, we're in it. I'm kind of just waiting. I was trying to see how many people. We have about 25 people in the server right now. Well, let's go ahead and switch to it so we can see what all is going on here. But we have about 25 people from the last I looked. Let me bring it up again one more time for you. So yeah, we've got about, let's say we have about 9 GTR1s and 16 GTR2s. So yeah, it's about 25 people at the moment. This has certainly brought out a fairly good crowd of racers this evening, kind of ranging from all over the place. We of course have a lot from the North America side, Canada, United States. We've got some Victor Paz from Argentina. We've got a couple folks from Brazil that we normally do. A couple of folks from Spain, it looks like. We've got one person from Slovakia. So who the heck knows what's going to happen, especially when it comes to the distance to the server and how the ping's going to be. And so it might lead to maybe some ping issues, or maybe even some disconnects. Hopefully it doesn't, but we very well could see that. So as we see here, Nicholas Cortez here within practice. We have about 10 minutes left of practice, and once we get through 10 minutes of practice here, we're going to have, which I believe is the same probably every week, 20 minutes of qualifying. So they've had about 20 minutes so far of practice, And then once you get through these last 10 minutes, they're going to have 20 minutes of qualifying to set the field. I can only imagine. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm unsure how qualifying will be. If you were with us on the last stream when it was the GTR3s at the Red Bull Ring, that for some reason was set up as like solo qualifying, where everyone was on the track by themselves at the same time, but they weren't seeing anyone else, which sometimes happens in RaceRoom. So I don't know if that's going to be how it is for this, or if it's going to be everyone out there at the same exact time trying to put in a qualifying lap. If it is, it's probably going to be absolute chaos, I would have to assume, to try to put in a fast lap, to try to find open space to put in a fast lap, and also put in a clean lap without invalidating it. So something to watch out for, as always. As we're kind of doing our little intro here that we always do, I'll say again, thank you for watching here with us. Ed, yours was combined. Very cool. Thank you. I was unsure how they would do it, but I'm assuming, you all had less folks than here now. But even with the amount of people you had, it might have been a little bit of chaotic with just the various difference in speed and times from the classes being all out there together. So we'll have to see what happens here. But as I was saying, thank you to the few who are here now with me on Twitch. We might have Dom Bessel perhaps show up here at some point to maybe add a little flair, add a little what should I say? Add a little knowledge to this stream along with myself. We'll see where he is or what he might be up to, and if he doesn't, then it's just gonna be me for all of it. I'll put a disclaimer out there. I am sitting in a hotel at the moment, a hotel out in California, so I am sitting here on some hotel Wi-Fi. So if the stream doesn't look all that great at times, or if it gets kind of choppy or buffering, that's I'll apologize ahead of time. It might just be the Wi-Fi getting a little slow at times, but I'll cross fingers that everything stays moving at least smoothly to provide a good stream and a good watch for those who might be here the entire time or stop by at some point. So in addition to also streaming, I am also recording. So as long as I don't lose any connection to the server, we will have a full video with hopefully no issues to go up on our YouTube, hopefully by tomorrow. And that's the North America RaceRoom Discord YouTube page to go along with our Twitch page. So whichever side you're watching on, make sure to follow one or the other, or even both. That way when we stream, which sometimes we do on Twitch, sometimes we do on YouTube, you'll get a notification of when we do that. If you're following or subscribed or whatever they want to call it on YouTube, then you'll get a notification every time we put up a video. And the way we do it is we stream somewhere, but we always record to put up on YouTube. So YouTube's kind of like the archive. Everything goes up there for access, for watching, for hopefully some enjoyment. So you've got those two outlets to enjoy our content. We're also on Twitter at N RaceRoom, just the letter N for November. N RaceRoom. That's our Twitter handle. We use that to put up if we live stream, or when videos go up, or maybe just a quick shout out to folks after post race information or pre-race information, or really anything. We kind of use it for all stuff. We retweet things that the RaceRoom account puts out. We'll put out things in regards to community information. So if you're on Twitter, give that a follow. It's just one more way to keep in touch or keep up to date with what we're doing within the Discord community. My apologies. I seem to be stumbling all over the place. Last thing we have is our Instagram, which is fairly new. So if you're on Instagram, which I know is part of the whole Facebook ecosystem, so if you're into all that, North America Race Room is the Instagram handle. So seek that out. There's some cool stuff up there now. I'm sure there'll be more cool stuff going on later. And finally, if you're not within the Discord, find your way into the Discord. If you're watching this, from outside the community, if you just like sim racing or if you like motorsports, and this is kind of doing it for you, and you're a sim racer or you have RaceRoom and you're looking for people within the America's time zones to race with, seek out our community and join up and get in with what all we're doing here. It's good to have you here as well, Grammy. We got Grammy, we've got Ed Engineer. Heel to toe. Yeah, I want to say that I should know that handle, but I don't off the top of my head. We got a motto in here. We got some others that have shown up before that I can't put Twitch handles with people that might be in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, then thank you for showing up as well. And if you're not in the Discord, thank you for showing up. I'm bad about trying to put Twitch handles with actual names that I probably know. So everyone watching the stream, thank you for watching. Find one of our other outlets that I just mentioned to just interact with us more if you want to. I mean, you certainly don't have to. So now that we've kind of gotten through that, we have about 3 minutes left to practice. It looks like a 121.5 for Keshen Hall there in the GT1s, GTR1s. I'll probably just take the R's out of both of them because it's very hard to say. So the GT1 class and GT2 class. A 121.5 for the top GT1, and Keith Hurst is the top GT2 with a 122.9. So he is not very far off the pace of Keshen there in the GT1. So there may not be that big of a difference as I either assumed or thought there would be between the two classes. So it might be some hard racing through everybody. But as you look down the list there, you've got a 121.5 for Keshen in the top GT1, and then you've got Ichazo, 8 seconds behind in a GT2. So, there will be lap traffic at some point within this 90 minutes. That's pretty much a guarantee. So, the front runners will have to, of course, keep a lookout for what they have in front of them. It'll probably be a GT2 that they'll have to try to get around and be nice enough to get around, not to throw them off their race. And perhaps we'll see GT2s not really get out of the way, but be nice enough to let people by. So we'll see. We'll all find out together. We've got 28 people in here right now, so we have almost a full server. And I've seen some names here within the last 30 seconds drop off. And I know we're coming close to the end of practice, so I don't know if people are kind of getting kicked out due to ping or server problems or what. An update just came down, I think, Monday? Yeah. Came down Monday that was supposed to address some of the potential server issues that folks have been seeing lately. So, cross fingers that might have fixed some of the issues out there. But we'll see. We have about 50 seconds left, and then we'll get down to as Ed said, a combined qualifying. So He says in the chat, I fully agree with it. You need to be one of the first people out there to avoid being stuck, you know, in between either slow drivers or just stuck in between GT2s. If you're a GT1, try to get out as fast as you can, get ahead of the pack, put in a valid lap. Hopefully you put in a fast valid lap, and then maybe hang off for a couple minutes. You don't want to be, well, you can either be the first one out or the last one out, but you got to time that one pretty well if you want to try to be the last and not be stuck by someone or getting in someone's way. So there you have it. We now have 20 minutes of qualifying, and I can't really tell who's gotten out there first. See if we can cycle through. But there's Tyler. He's in a GT2. Eamon Howell's there in a GT1. Lyndon Bigman's still trying to get out. So is Keshan Hall. So it looks like some of the quote-unquote slower folks in practice were some of the first people to get out. So that's good for them, because with this many cars on this type of track with two classes, you could set a decent lap in the beginning of qualifying with no traffic or with light traffic, and that could easily stand high, depending on how many more people get out, how congested the track gets, and everything else. So you could always get lucky if you're one of the slower ones in practice, even to put in a pretty good qualifying time and get lucky to be further up in the field than what you think because of just various factors of being out there. So anything can happen, especially in 20 minutes. I mean, really anytime. If this was a 30-minute qualifying, it'd probably be even worse because there's just more time for people to get out there and more time for people to stay out there. And if I happen to go quiet at times, it's probably just because I don't want to bore anyone too much with a whole lot of talking. So the system right now is on auto director, kind of just flowing through whoever it might want to potentially look at. But maybe I can flow through. So Tyler here is probably the first person on a valid lap, as you can see with the purple sectors there. He comes across at a 123.087. So right now he is the top spot for the GT1s, the GT2s. Eamon Howell out there, he's in a GT1. And then Echazo comes through there with a 123.4, currently in P2. Bernie Puebla, a 124.4. But perfect example there is, so he's in a GT1, and he's just smashed in between various GT2s. So he either has to just ride along with them or find a place to really work to get around, which that's probably the best place on the entire track right there. to easily get by, but then he's already lost some time anyway trying to do all that. So as you can see with the gray sector 1, probably gray sector 2, so we're going to see a lot of shakeup. Probably by the end of this 15 minutes, there'll be names switching all over the place as they finish out. It looks like Christopher Barnes there has the top spot of a 121.051 with Carlos De La Torre about 2/10 behind him in P2. Tyler Aguili. Never quite figured out how to say his last name. I should ask him. But he's about 2 seconds off the overall pace in a GT2, which is not too bad. There with the overall top spot for the GT2s, and Keith Hurst about over 4/10 behind him, sitting in P2 of the GT2s. We see Jeff Hooten out there, Mark Sutton's out there. We've got Lyndon Bigeman. He actually ran one of the European races today. I'm not sure how he finished up, but so he's doing kind of the double duty today with doing a European one, now doing the Americas one. So good on him. I think he's also doing it in VR. So taking the corkscrew many times in VR does not sound fun to me, but good on him for doing it. And 28 people have made it into qualifying. So hopefully we see 28 people make it into the race. That'd be awesome to see. That'd be maybe one of the top most attended weekly ranked events we've had in quite a while, with 28 people. And also, if anyone here in the chat, hey, there's Dom. Welcome, Dom. Vamos. Let me know if something doesn't sound very good, or if it's too low or whatnot. Since I'm not at home, I'm working off my laptop, which has all the same software, but it probably is not set up in the same levels as they are at my residence. So just shout out in there. Sexy as ever. Levels are good. Thank you, Tim. I don't know if it's sexy as ever, but it's been a long day already. And I keep going backwards in time zones, so the day just gets longer and longer. So it looks like, yes. So we only have 7 GT1s, and they've all at least qualified 1 through 7. Bernie Puebla there was kind of mixed in with some of the GT2s there within the overall standings, so he's at least gotten ahead of them. I don't know if he would have started in the middle of GT2s. He probably would have, which would have been a huge disadvantage for him. But he'll at least be starting, up there with his class, and won't be held back by any GT2s that could have been in front of him. Let's see, auto director. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I'm not on the auto director anymore. So Carlos there. Ooh. So Carlos has set the top time. He's into the 120s, or 120.7. We probably would have seen that if I would have had the software on Auto Director and not concentrated on Bernie for one reason or another. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, it looks like what Emery's P3 within his class, which is pretty good. I mean, obviously we have 21 GT2s compared to 7 GT1s, so that GT2 class has competition all over the place. Yeah, it looks like he's the only Cadillac as well. I remember running the Cadillac back at Imola during that endurance race, and that car is very nice to drive. It has a lot of straight line speed, I'll tell you that much. So it looks like Bernie's moved up to P6 even, so he's finding more time out there. He's finding space, it looks like. And he's starting to put in some pretty decent times there within the class. Who else we have down there in GT2s? So Lyndon Bigeman's your overall, but your Class P1. Keith Hurst is your Class P2. Emery Anderson is your Class P3. Nicholas Cortez, we've seen him out there before. Very good racer. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do. Medici, we've seen him before. Murphy's out there. Hauser's kind of a new name. I'm not sure if I know who that might be. Then you got Diego. I can never say his last name. We've seen him before. Sean Patterson. He's been out there before. He's a very good racer as well. And Carlos there is just getting faster and faster out there. He's finding time as well. Punkard here. I think we've seen his name before. At least I think I have. He's down there behind Miasha Moore. They're in some BMWs. Mark Sutton's out there. Then a few names at the bottom. Pardo, we've seen him before. Then a few names down there that I have not seen before. Zoltan's in there as well. Zoltan has yet to set a time. Zoltan's actually he's in the pits. I'm not sure what he's up to. So while we're sitting here in qualifying, I'm sure most folks in that might still be in this Twitch chat, you might be familiar with Laguna Seca. Then again, you may not be. If you're not, where's the information? There's 11 turns, and what I'm going to do here very soon is I'm going to find someone. We're going to do an in-car lap. That way you can go with me the entire way. You can see, but you got 11 turns. About 2.2 miles. If you love kilometers, about 3.6 kilometers. You've got the famous Andretti hairpin at the very end. You've got the Rahal straight. You've got the corkscrew. You've got the rainy curve. So you've got some famous, circuit points, I guess you could say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You got some famous things that, you know, if you say the corkscrew, you probably think of Laguna Seca. And you got all these crazy points you're going to do for 90 minutes. That might take a toll on someone. It'd probably take a toll on me. Where's Carlos? He's coming to the end. Here's what we're going to do. So your overall P1. We're going to go... Let's go to the dash. So, hopefully he runs this. If not, we'll switch to someone else. But he is just across the start-finish line right there. And he's going to be coming up to the Andretti hairpin here, which is a very long, sweeping left-hander. I consider that almost to be 2 corners within one, but it's not. But you have a right-hander there. Tell me it has a name. If it does, I don't know the name. Then you get through turn 4 here, and that's going to filter you up to turn 5, which is just a basic left-hander. And you're going to go up the hill to turn 6. If you go too far on the inside of turn 6, you're going to break some suspension very easily. That inside yellow curb, if you hit it, you're pretty much done. Here's your corkscrew. It takes a lot of talent to do that, because if you don't do it correctly, you're going to spin within there, and you're going to be in the way and probably just get hit by somebody. That was the rainy curve. Here's down to turn 10. It takes you down to a very tight turn 11 to the left. And he's invalidated this, so he has no time, but that is basically 1 lap of Laguna Seca. We'll see how far he goes. We'll watch him do another one. And that's a prime example of how they're going to be fighting with the GT2s basically everywhere on the track. So that was him trying to get around. I'm assuming that's a GT2. I think it was, but try to get around in that turn 6 area, and it just won't happen. So you really have to pick your spots. Really, in both classes. I mean, GT2s will have to pick their spots to pass each other, but then the GT1s will have to pick their spots to pass the GT2s once they eventually get to them, which might take longer than what you expect, but then again, maybe not. Zoltan there is finally put in a time. He's about 5.9, almost 6 seconds off the overall pace of the top GT1, but he's only... he's about 4.1 seconds off the top running GT2. So still a pretty wide gap there. Let's see. How many people are we down to now? So we're down to 25. So we've had 3 people, unfortunately, either drop out on their own or drop out due to maybe a server kick, something. But we started this session with 28, down to 25. Not too terribly bad. Still a lot of people. So we'll cross fingers that all 25 make it for this next 1 minute, 40 seconds. Make it into the race session. And then we'll be off and away. Christopher Barnes now is your top leader overall and within the GT1s with a 120.5. So he's definitely found some time out there as well, and it looks like he's finding even more time. His Sector 1 is purple, which is the fastest overall through that sector. So he might set a blazing lap here at the very end. Ooh. Got a little squirrely coming off turn 6 there. Managed to hold it, though. Takes himself up to the corkscrew. No issues there. Cuts it well inside. He's about, that was not a best for himself or a session best in Sector 2, so that little wiggle definitely threw him off. Well, maybe he can pick up some time in Sector 3 here as he hits turn 11. Puts the hammer down and tries to get to the start-finish line, which I don't think he's going to make it any time. He doesn't. 120.459. So he did. So there you go. So his last lap. So here's your overall, which is, it should scroll because I don't think it's showing everybody, but your positions 1, 2, and 3 for the GT1s: Christopher Barnes, Carlos De La Torre, and Keshin Hall. And then your positions 1, 2, and 3 for the GT2s. You got Lyndon Bigman, Tyler Igeli, and Keith Hurst. As you can see, there are 7 GT1s and there are 18 GT2s. There was one person who didn't set a time, James Pilot. So he will be starting in P18 or P25, dead last, for not putting in a time. So we now have 50 seconds for everyone to set their strategies. I do know that these vehicles have multiple tire compounds, so folks will have their strategies of soft tires, hard tires, medium tires, fuel, and all that good stuff. So I know I'll be able to tell. I don't know if it shows it on the standings board what everyone's taking tire-wise. I don't believe it does, but I'll certainly try to throw out what the folks are running. That way, keep that in mind for later when pit stops start to happen. So 3, 2, 1. The lights are on. They're going to be going out. There they are. There they are. There they are. And they're off. And here we go. So this is GT1s. Get a pretty good jump off the line. Very clustered together, just like everyone else in the back. Looks like someone blipped out right there, but I don't really know. Everyone's still there, so I'm not sure what that was. Who's this on? Eamon Howell here. Let's go further back. So here's inside Keith Hurst. He is currently P3 within the GT2s. Someone goes off into the wall there. Who was that? That was Jeff Hooton. I don't know if he was touched or if something's happened, but he was into the wall there, and he's going to have an entire line of people probably get by him. He might go all the way to the back, or potentially not. Looks like he's slid in there between Pardo and Mark Sutton. But he's going to have a long way to get back up to where his other classmates are. So who else we have? Nicholas Cortez right there. But Keith Hurst is taking the shortcut through the corkscrew, which will probably give him a slowdown penalty, I would have to assume, or the game will be nice enough as it might be his first one. And it may not give him one. But who do we got? Who do we got? Back here in the back, Brashad Murphy. Back here in the BMW, and these are the GT. We'll probably find the GT2 class to be more clustered together than not. Oh, there it is. So on their name, you're going to see what tire compound they're running. It's kind of a cluster. Just look at the software. There are a lot of folks in the hard tires. All the GT1s are in hards. That might be all they have. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know if they have different compounds, but there are a mixture of hards and softs throughout the GT2s. So some folks are banking on trying to get. There you go. So Ed also says that in the GT2s you can mix the front and the rear. So you can have softs in the front, hards in the back, or vice versa, or whatnot. So all kinds of strategies to go with this. Too many for for my simple mind. Remy Hauser here has softs, and he goes sideways, and he has collected someone else behind him. Potentially collected some other folks. That's Nicholas Cortez that he collected there. We might see that quite often, not with just those two, but we might see on these new tires, and then once tires start to get to the end of their life, we might see some extra spins through the corkscrew. Oh, all right, Ed. So it'll show hards even if you have one set on either front or back. So basically, no one knows what they might be running, but they're running something. They have tires on those cars. That's all I know. Keshin Hall here has caught up to Christopher Barnes, and they are really just pulling away. So Thomas Cowart's about 3.5 seconds behind these two here. I know the software will love to stick with them, which we will not. So we're going to throw it back here to the GT2s. Here's Miasha Moore working on Sean Patterson here for P10, P11. But then you've got Nicholas Cortez there right behind in P12. Remy Hauser, P13. So, and there's Jeff Hooten, 14th overall, but he is the red car they're going by as a GT1, so he's working his way up the field. Miasha Moore kind of goes off there at turn 6. Here is some people beating and banging through the corkscrew. I think that's Jeff Hooten. Kind of giving Remy the shove out of the way to let him by. There's some headlights flashing, probably because he may not be too happy with what happened right there. Sean Patterson almost into the back of Emery Anderson there in that beautiful Cadillac. But the Cadillac should have it. It has fantastic straight line speed, and as you can see, it pulled away pretty easily there from Sean within the, what's he in? He's in the Chevy. Probably the Callaway. Or not. It's a GT2. I'm not sure what that Chevy is. I should know, but I don't. Who else we got here? Miasha Moore back here working on Fast Medici. Back here in P10, working up Remy Hauser and Nicholas Cortez. Ooh, working on the caddy of Emery Anderson, who kind of goes all the way back to 13th overall. It's like those three there kind of got by him, whether by force or by a miscalculation there by Emery. Here they all come down to the corkscrew. Everyone seems to make it, so everyone's all right there. Let's go even further back. You got James Pilot back here. He started dead last. He's now up to 21 overall. Catching up to the back of Mark Sutton there. Let's move on up. Here's the drag race of Miasha Moore and Fast Medici, all the way down to the Ray Hall. No, that's the Andretti hairpin. I'm getting ahead of myself. But it looks like, ooh, Miasha pulled that off. Very nicely done. And off and away. Very nice, very good. See Remy Hauser here, Sean Patterson trying it. Let's go inside. Cockpit. Oh, it's a beautiful run off of that turn there. Here to turn 6, what's going to have? Don't go too far. Oh, there's some a little bit of a contact, but he saves it, not going into the gravel. And off and away he goes. Mark Sutton back here, working on Mr. Pardo. James Pilot right behind there. James Pilot actually gets by. These four back here are very close. Diego is working on Zoltan. Diego took a little bit of extra through the corkscrew there, but does not seem to have picked up any slowdown penalties, so he's okay for that. Let's see Bernie Puebla Move up to the GT1s, give them a little love. He's working on Eamon Howell here for well, P4 overall and P4 in the class. We'll stick with them for just a bit. Here we go. That's action right into the corkscrew. Trying to get by there. Something's also happened to Carlos. He's now dropped all the way back to 14th overall, 7th in the class. I didn't really catch what might have happened to him, but something's happened to him. Jeff Hooten's moved up to 8th overall, so he's come back from his early, very early issue. He's now just 2 off from being in front of all the GT2s. And let's look around here. Mark Sutton. Trying to keep up with Pardo, about 3/10 back. They'll obviously come up. So he might catch up some time in the Andretti hairpin. It looks like he's stayed right about where he was. Keith Hurst. Sitting in P4. P4 in the BMW. That's Nicholas Cortez there right in front of him. P3 for the class. Let's see, Miyashimura. You have Miyashimura and Emery Anderson here. Let's put on the compare next car, that way you can see. So I don't show it often, but when I do, so the comparison down there, the person that we're focused on will be on the right-hand side in the place behind. And so the place in front there, the higher place, is the one they're trying to catch up to. So you can see that she's making quite the move on Emery, down to almost 1/10, and pretty good run off of there into turn 4. Doesn't quite have it. Still very close. Fast Medici here on Brashad Murphy. Looks like he's going to get it done. Yes, he will. In turn 5. Fantastic move there. Keith Hurst, we're going to move back up to him. He's keeping it close with Nicholas Cortez. Mark Sutton back here. Sticking close to Mr. Pardo. In the K&W Chevrolet. So Eamon Howell had a slight spin there, which he's now maybe about 5.5 seconds behind Tyler there, and seventh overall. And a three-way battle here. Got Emery Anderson there on the far left, Sean Patterson right in the middle, and Miyashimura on the outside. Some contact there. Oh, and Emery got the worst of it there, unfortunately. Gets into the side with Miyasha trying to go 3 wide through that turn, which will never work. Pushed him out to the outside gravel. Luckily, he did not go far into the gravel. He's back on pretty quickly. But there's a lot of time left to try to make up that time lost. I doubt there's probably any damage. It was just a slight bump, but got the worst of it for sure. Who was that? It's like Pardo. Might have gotten into the back of Emery there ever so slightly. Pushed him off. And he is now back on, going. Zoltan will be catching up to him very soon. That's him in the red car. We've lost our first person. Selick. Or Chelik. One or the other. It's like he has retired. Which is unfortunate to retire this early. Let's see, we got yellow flags. What's going on here? Not really sure what's going on there. Oh, that'd be why. So, Molatronic here. He's coming into the pits. Unknown reason, maybe damage. Way too early for any pit stops unless he's doing 2 on a very crazy strategy. But there's 1 in the pit, 1 out. Miasha Moore here sticking with Sean Patterson with Medici very close behind as well. These 3 are the closest on track at the moment. Your overall leader, Keshin Hall, has about a 4.8 second lead over Christopher Barnes in P2 overall, and also P1 and 2 in the GT1 class. Lyndon Bigeman is... what is he? He's about 4.5 seconds ahead of the of Tyler there in P2 in the GT2 class. So Lyndon doing a very good job in VR, second race of the day, to that's not what I wanted to do. Go back to Miasha Moore, which is fine. So she's getting a run here on Sean Patterson. Let's go in the car. Just to launch through turn 6, maybe all the way up to the corkscrew. It's going to be tight all the way up to that. Ooh. Sean got a little bit of the curb there. That's fantastic. Through the corkscrew, definitely caught up a lot after losing some time through turn 6. But, I have a feeling these 2 are going to be battling for quite a while here if they keep putting in the similar lap times. What's happened to Lester? Ooh, so Lester has spun in the corkscrew. Some folks are getting by. And we're going to leave it there. Fast Medici, Miasha Moore, Sean Patterson. A 3-way battle here for, what are they in? Well, 6, 7, and 8 of the class. 15, 14, 13 overall. And DC goes quite wide there. So I'm not sure what's happened. Remy Hauser somehow has come back all the way to these folks. He must have had an off somewhere, but he's kind of been sucked back into this battle. So you now got Remy Hauser there, P5 within the class, with 6 and 7 of Sean Patterson and Miasha Moore. So there are folks all over the place. Carlos De La Torre, or Torre, one or the other. He's working on Eamon Howell overall and in the class. So these are GT1 class cars. They have 2 GT2s in front of them, so they are not clear of the slower class as of yet, but here they are battling for 6 and 7 overall, but also 6 and 7 within the class. grimy after eating. After doing all that work, you sit back, relax, have a drink, and just enjoy at this point. Carlos is working hard on Eamon there. I should go inside. We're gonna go in the cockpit for just a bit here. To try to make a move, maybe on the corkscrew. Ooh. Ooh. Some slight contact there. That's dropped him back ever so slightly. Fast Medici. Still behind Miyashimore. Still keeping it close. I see Derek McCorden here. Welcome to Derek. I also see John Wyzorak. Welcome to you. Thanks to everyone for stopping by, for watching for a little bit, if you don't stay for the entire thing. It's always appreciated when people stop by. Not that we won't, we don't stream without people showing up, but it's always better when I know there's some folks maybe potentially watching, so hopefully it's good enough for everyone out there. Hopefully everything holds up. Let's see. We're going to switch around. James Pilot. Very close to Rashad. Rashad Murphy gets by. Going up to turn 6. Oh my. Comes over very, very quickly. Through turn 6 there. Manages to not smash into the yellow curb on the inside. Up to the corkscrew. We're going to leave them for just a bit. Up here to Carlos. Still behind Eamon for a bit. Going down into the Andretti hairpin. He's been behind him for a few laps now. They've been very close. A couple touches. Nothing crazy. Hasn't really thrown anyone off. But Carlos is really just trying to find a way around, which is can be very tough at times around Laguna Seca. But he might, well, no, I thought he might have it there, but they are. So he's gotten by it. But then Eamon gets a better run off turn 5, gets right around him. They go up to turn 6. Carlos gets a little bit wider than Eamon, but gets a heck of a run up the hill. I mean, both of them do. And the GT1s come down to the corkscrew. No issues for either one yet. But yeah, Carlos is just looking for a spot to try to get around. Has not yet found it. And I'm not sure if there's an hour and 8 minutes to go. I don't know if you really want to be super frustrated with this yet, but he might be. There's a little bit of a hit in the back there. Probably not on purpose. Some incidental contact. They're going to drag race it up to the Andretti hairpin. Eamon goes out wide. Carlos gets on the inside. Carlos then gets a little loose, and Eamon gets right back around. So they are they're racing hard. They're racing fairly clean, and they are just flip-flopping places at the moment. Still with over an hour left to go, so plenty of time to fight, and also plenty of time to probably not try to kill your tires and then fight later on. See Miyashimore here on Sean Patterson. This has been a familiar duo here, fighting with each other. P13, P14. The race so far has been pretty action-packed. A lot of action in between the GT2s. There's been some various spins with the corkscrew, even leading up to the corkscrew. So some of the GT1s found their way back, kind of in in the back third of the GT2s, so they've had to fight their way back up, which, as you can see, Eamon and Carlos are still trying to do, while also fighting with each other for overall position and class position. So it's been very good stuff so far. A lot of close battles, really in clusters. So we'll see. Over an hour left to go. Pit stops will happen at some point because nobody can go a full race without a pit stop. So there will definitely be some pit strategies come into play. There will be some potential shakeups to the overall standings, to the class standings. It should be very fun to watch. And I'm trying to do my best to really jump around to who is very close to each other for position. So, Lester Lawlin here, very close to Zoltan, but then has to let, who's in that yellow? Is that Lennon? That was Lennon. So Lyndon Bigeman in a GT2 has just lapped Lester Lawlin in GT2, so that's why he had to pull up. Same for Zoltan. So that was their class leader, putting these two down a lap while fighting with each other. So that's kind of done a little yo-yo effect where Lester had to pull up and let Lyndon go, then caught back up to Zoltan as Zoltan had to pull up and let Lyndon go. So these two are very close. Miasha Moore, Fast Medici, Sean Patterson, a very familiar trio now, with that's Keshin Hall. So that's your overall P1, who's now flowing through all the GT2s. And just for perspective, those GT2s are that was P13, 14, and 15. So Keshin Hall has already put all of those GT2s a lap down and is continuing on his way. Same as Miasha Moore and Fast Medici, they are still sticking very close to Sean Patterson. All three running in the same positions they've been running in for a bit. With Medici getting a little better run off of turn 5. Not quite as good as a run off of turn 6 as they come down to the corkscrew. We'll stick with Miasha here to make sure there's any potential spins by anybody of those three. Which there are not. They all make it through. Everything's good. Diego, we haven't really focused on him a whole lot. He's behind Mark Sutton here, P20 overall. Under a second, about 5/10 behind. Looks like Mark is a little bit wide there into the corkscrew. Maybe not enough braking to slow down for the corkscrew, but that's allowed Diego to get even closer. And Diego makes the pass. So there's your new P19 overall. Who else we have? Remy Hauser is in the pits. We are 27 minutes into this race, and he's come into the pit. He may have been running full softs all the way, so those might be completely gone. If they are, that's I don't know if that's how they should be or not. 27 minutes seems like not a whole lot of time for soft tires, but they may have also run short fuel perhaps, just to have a little extra speed at the beginning. Here's Jeff Hooten in the Saline. The very flat Saline. He's making his way through the GT2 class at the moment. That's Bernie Puebla there, right there in front of him, in the blue and white Ford. Less than a second behind these. He's P5 overall, P5 in the class. Trying to catch up to Bernie there, which is P4 overall and P4 in the class. So we'll stick it here for just a bit. My apologies. I'm typing and doing all kinds of other stuff. I'm just going to throw an auto director, which actually stays on Jeff Hooten. I'm going to throw it down to Miyashimura here. Still P13 overall. Still behind Sean Patterson there. My apologies. Sean Patterson in P12. Fast Medici about 1.4 seconds behind Miyashi here. I'll tell you what, Emery Anderson. If you were with us maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 at the most, he was involved in a slight incident with really both Miyashimura and Sean Patterson. They were trying to go 3 wide through turn 4. There was a little bit of contact between Emery and Miyasha, which put Emery to the outside gravel. Luckily did not go far into the gravel, did not really hit anything, so really just lost time in positions and shouldn't have had any damage to the vehicle. So he's working his way back up through the field, about 2 seconds behind Brashad Murphy. Brittany Puebla has lost his place to Jeff Hooten as they try to get around Mark Sutton there in the GT2, which they do successfully. And now Bernie's going to see what he can do here to maybe get the place back. We'll stick with him for just a second. James Pilot, very close to the backside of Fast Medici. He might be able to get him to the Andretti hairpin here, perhaps. No, not quite there. It's a heck of a run. There's a slight contact on the side. Some flashing of the headlights. Does not seem to be kind of happy about that. But they are side by side through turn 3. Now working through turn 4. And he's going to be behind Medici going through 4, probably into 5. We'll see where he gets going up the hill to 6. He's going to be behind him. So Emery Anderson here again, working on Brashad Murphy, trying to put that Cadillac in a good position before the corkscrew. Looks like Murphy goes a little extra wide there, takes a little bit extra out of the corkscrew than needed, and that's basically brought Emery right up to his bumper. Let's see if he can get through. What's going on here? Nicholas Cortez in the pits. Remy Hauser has retired. We saw him go into the pits a little bit earlier. He must have had maybe damage or something, but Nicholas Cortez, about 33 minutes into the race, has gone into the pits. We'll see where he comes out. He's moving again, and he's going to lose a spot to Mark Sutton, so he's going to be coming out in 12th within the class and 19th overall. So your first official pit stop of the day, 33 minutes in by Nicholas Cortez. Excuse me. And I see yellow flags all over the place. What's happened here? James Pilot is very slow before the corkscrew. Something's happened to him. I'm not really sure what. We're going to keep an eye on it. Miasha Moore, let's see, James Pilot is just sitting there. For one reason or another, is the person. He's working on something. See the hands moving in there. Maybe he's potentially hit the wrong button and turned the car off if he has that set. Oh, unfortunately not. So he has retired from this race for one reason or another, which is unfortunate. With 3 people gone, we're now down to 22 people. Started with 25. We're now down to 22 runners still in here. Miasha Moore will finally get by Sean Patterson after Sean had went a little too wide there on turn 6. Put him kind of out into the gravel a little bit. Gets a slowdown penalty for his for extra measure. So Miasha's moved up to P11 overall and P4 within the class. And Fast Medici there will try to keep close to Sean Patterson. Nicholas Cortez, he's done 1 pit stop already, showing softs, but as I think with what Ed was saying earlier, he might be running softs. I think if you have any hards on, it'll show hard. So if he's running with the S there for softs, he might have 4 soft tires on that vehicle. Diego's trying to get up to Emery Anderson. Here we go. Sean Patterson very close to Miasha Moore again, along with Fast Medici. These three cannot lose each other. They might have some magnets in the front and back of these vehicles to stay this close for this long. But of these 3 here, no one can really pull away. And the only reason anyone kind of falls back is just because of just personal problems, personal issues with the driving of the cars. Now there's also, I think that's Thomas Cowart that it is. So Cowart is coming up on these 3 in his GT1. So just so we can see what potentially happens here, let's go in the car. So Cowart is P3 overall, P3 in the class, is now coming up on these 3 here, which are P11, 12, and 13 overall. So he's gotten by Medici there. He may run out of room before getting by Patterson. So Patterson, not holding him up deliberately, will be kind of holding up his progress through the Andretti hairpin. Still unable to get by before turn 3. And Sean then very nicely moves out of the way for him to get by. We'll stick with him until he can kind of get by Miasha here. That way we can kind of see where folks are maybe picking points within the circuit to try to get by the lower class of vehicle. It's not through turn 6. I wouldn't try to pass anyone through there. He's probably going to have him up the hill into the corkscrew. So by the corkscrew, he's gotten all 3 of those folks. We'll go back to Fast Medici, who is the 3rd in line of these 3, who just had Mr. Cowart get by, and who are still fighting for position for 11, 12, and 13. What do we have there? We've got Miasha's in the BMW. Sean Patterson's in the Chevy. Then Medici here is in the rough. I see yellow flags. Where's Eamon? So there's somebody turned around there. Ooh, who is that? It's not Miasha. That might be Zoltan. It is. Zoltan's having some issues. Oh, okay. So unfortunately for Zoltan, had some issues there in the corkscrew, and might have goosed it a little too much into the wall, and that might have just definitely ended his night, as he's now sitting diagonal in the pit box, which always means that they are out of the race. Unfortunate for him, he's going to come in P15 in the class and P22 overall. Sean Patterson, still within a second of Miasha Moore here in P12, has a slowdown penalty, so we might see some more time build up between Miasha and himself, but that'll also bring down the time. Let's see flags in other places. What's going on here? Abraham has disconnected. He's flying through the air somewhere underground. He's turned into a mole man, so he is out. And he will finish P14 in the class and P21 overall. So we're now down to 20 racers within this race with just 50 minutes to go. So very close to the halfway point. See Diego. Diego is, I think, trying to get into the pits. He is. So Diego is making a pit stop. And Sean Patterson is going to probably try to... Now he has to let Jeff Hooten somewhere get by, going up the hill into turn 6. He will not be close enough to get by Miasha before getting to the corkscrew, so we'll see where Jeff Hooten here decides to potentially get by Miasha Moore in the GT2 ahead, not through the corkscrew. I would potentially assume that it might be down the start-finish line straight, because I don't think he's going to have enough room to get before turn 11 here, which he will not. Will most likely get the better runoff with the higher-powered vehicle, which he will. And there you have it. So there's the pass of a GT1 with a GT2, and that has really strung out a lot of these folks. Your P1 within GT2 and P7 overall, Lyndon Bigeman. He has a 7.2 second lead over the P2 GT2 of Tyler Eggley. I'll say Eggley. No. Eggley. Whatever. Tyler, if you're watching this later, my apologies. Tell me how to say your last name, I'll say it correctly. Or I'll still forget and say it however. But Lyndon here, he's about to put... So he's put Emery Anderson. Where's Emery? Emery's right there. Yeah, so Lyndon Bigeman has now put Emery Anderson a lap down within the class. And Emery is P7 within the class and P14 overall. So Lyndon is just... He's just blazing through this field. To put all the way up to... P14 overall, P7 in the class, a lap down. So some very good racing there from Lyndon. There's Tyler coming through the corkscrew, so he's trying to keep up with Lyndon, also putting folks a lap down. So right now, if you can see the standings there, there were a lot of close battles for position, and everyone is now kind of spread out, I think due to so many of the GT1 cars coming through the field, but then also the GT2 cars of their own class are now starting to come through the field and put some a lap down. So that's forced some folks to have to slow down and get out of the way, kind of get off the racing line if they choose to, or if the blue flags are flying when they're able. So that's kind of put everyone. What's this? Bershad Murphy's in for a pit. Sean Patterson is now under a second back to Miasha Moore, like he has been for a while. That's Bernie Puebla. They're coming in behind these two. He is P5 overall, P5 in the GT1 class. Just so we can see everything. We'll go inside the car with Bernie here. maybe see where he decides to try to pick a spot without trying to mess anyone up, which looks like he's going to do. So, as you can see there as well, Brashad Murphy with a drive-through penalty. Unfortunate after his first pit stop. Bernie there has gotten by. Sean Patterson is also trying to get by for position. But yes, Brashad Murphy with a drive-through penalty, speeding in the pit lane. If he's got the AI pit on, that could be. If the AI pit's on, that means he was speeding either at the entry or at the exit of pit road or pit lane. If he didn't have AI on, then maybe not the pit limiter was set, so he went over somewhere down pit lane. Sean Patterson drifting off the side. Here is a GT2 car coming in for a pit. Tyler Aguili. He was your P2 in the class. Has now dropped down to P3. Might drop even further. I see flags everywhere. Who's that? Miasha Moore has gone off. And might have just disconnected, perhaps? Where'd her name go? Yes, so Miasha Moore unfortunately has disconnected. Probably not on her own, but I'm sure was potentially kicked from the server. Unfortunate for her, she's going to come in P20 overall, P13 in the class. There was your P2. Let's see what Bernie Puebla has come in for a pit stop. So I don't know if he's the first GT1 to come in or not, but he's in there. So he's going to drop to P7 in the class. He's getting all 4 tires. That car levitating right off the ground there. So Tyler here, fresh tires, fresh off a pit stop, is now under a second back here to Sean Patterson. So we'll see how easy or how quickly Tyler gets back in front of Sean, if he can. Because now it's GT2 on GT2, so. Zoltan, did you have to quit out due to damage after kind of getting the wall there in the corkscrew? Or were you just fed up with it and you decided to get out of it? As you just see there's Tyler. Managed to get by Sean Patterson there in the Andretti hairpin. Got a little loose coming out of it, but managed to stay in front. And now is being hounded by Sean. Ooh. It was kind of out of the shot there, but Sean kind of got a little too much of the inside curb there on turn 4, which can really do some damage. Enough damage to break the entire suspension if you hit it just perfectly. Let's see, who do we have here? Lyndon Bigman. Your P1 GT2 is in and out. I'm not sure if he took any tires or not, but Thomas Calvert is in. Christopher Barnes is in. Looks like there's a car in the middle of his. He might be sharing a pit box. I think him and actually Coward are sharing pit boxes. No, they're not. I don't know who he's in there with. Probably Lester Lawland and Christopher Barnes are sharing a pit box at the moment. So hopefully nothing happens with that. Fast Medici, he's coming for a pit stop. So you're going to start seeing pit stops roll around. And, we're down to almost 40 minutes. I can assume that a lot of these folks that have waited this long are probably only going to do one pit stop. So not too much of a strategy. Lester Lawlin there with a drive-through penalty, speeding in the pit lane. That will require him to have to come back through. Same as Brashad Murphy, which I'm sure he has. He's down here in P18. I have nowhere to tell me if they've satisfied their penalty or not, but I would just assume that he has. Your new P1 in the GT2 class is Keith Hurst. Don't believe he's pitted yet, so we will wait to see when he comes in. That might circle around Lyndon Bigman, who is about 30 seconds behind, but if you're getting tires and fuel, you'll definitely be over 30 seconds. So once he does come in, Lyndon should take back over your P1 in the class. Mark Sutton, he's come in. That is a long time for Carlos, or was Christopher was just in there. So Carlos De La Torre, he's come in for a pit. Keshin Hall has yet to pit, I don't believe. Fast Medici going out, catching up to Diego, working on him. Keith Hurst had a slowdown penalty. So, what I'm gonna do real fast, I'm gonna put this on Auto Director, and I will be, I'll be right back in a few minutes. All right, all. Sorry about that. But I caught there very quickly that Medici, Carlos with a drive-through penalty for speeding. Medici had a little issue there at the corkscrew. If you saw that, where he kind of had a drift into the gravel on the outside of it. But Carlos De La Torre with a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane, that will hurt him, obviously, as he'll have to come back through. That will definitely keep him in P7 within the class. It's like Pardo had a little issue there at the corkscrew. Went out very wide in the gravel. Back on his way. Emery Anderson here working on Fast Medici. So there goes Carlos. He's taking his drive-through penalty right away. You have 3 laps to satisfy that penalty. He's doing it right away. That way he can try to get back on his way and maybe do something within 36 minutes. Emery here in the Cadillac, working on Mr. Medici. Trying to get in front of the rough. This is your closest battle for position. Keith Hurst is still out there. Now has a 25-second lead over Lyndon Bigeman. I still don't think Keith Hurst has pitted as of yet. We'll see maybe if he pits here. He does not. He's going to continue on. Emery Anderson doing everything he can to stay right there with Medici. Waiting for any type of mistake. Sean Patterson gets hit with a slowdown penalty. Where's Sean Patterson? Sean Patterson's 5th overall. No, P5 in the class, P11 overall. Carlos has done his penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And everyone now is kind of spread out. Keshen Hall will jump up here with him. Your P1 overall, your P1 for the GT1 class. Just getting through the corkscrew. He has about a 5-second lead over Jeff Hooten in P2. Don't believe, I may have missed it. I'm not sure if Keshen has pitted yet or not. But he's got a 5-second lead. Your P2 overall, P2 in the GT1 class, Jeff Hooten. If you remember, he had a slight spin kind of early on in the race and has cycled back around to P2. Here's Keith Hurst. He's making his pit stop, his first one of the day. And Lyndon Bigeman is coming down the start-finish line straight, so he's going to retake P1 from Keith Hurst in the pit. Tyler here, he's already pitted, so he will take over P2 from Keith Hurst. Nicholas Cortez is coming as well, and he's going to retake P3. I believe he's already been in the pits. And there goes Sean Patterson, moving up in front of Keith Hurst. I don't know if Sean's pitted yet or not. Keith Hurst has come back out, P5 in the class. P12 overall. So he is back on his way. No pop-ups for any type of drive-through, so good for him. And away he goes. Just kind of going through the field here. Christopher Barnes, P3 overall, P3 in the GT1 class. Even Howell, as I'm doing that, he goes into the pit. Bernie Puebla has moved up to P5. Carlos might take it from him. We'll follow Carlos here just to see. It's about 13 seconds now. He's going to be coming down to turn 11. So with the drive-through, ooh, it's very loose, very slippery there. But he is going to take over. Yes, he'll take over P6 within the GT1 class as Eamon is there in the pit. Sean Patterson comes into pit. Keith Hurst will retake P4. But Sean might get out before Diego gets around. Diego is about 40 seconds behind. Oh, Eamon Eamon Howell with a drive-through penalty. Speeding in the pit lane is unfortunate. It's about the third or fourth we've seen this evening. Ooh, let me get off of Sean. Brashad Murphy here. He's about 1 second behind Mark Sutton. P11 in the class. P18 overall. And they've got some traffic there along with them, which I think are multiple GT1s mixed in with them. Emery here, still behind Medici. Still trying to get by, trying to keep up, trying to stay with him. P8 in the class, P15 overall. Just gonna jump back to Murphy. That's one GT1 in the middle. The green one. Who is that? Ooh. So Eamon looks to have DNF'd for one reason or another, which is unfortunate. He'll finish P7 in the class, P19 overall. So that leaves us with 6 GT1s left. But yeah, he's sitting the wrong way, so he is unfortunately out of this race with only 30 minutes to go. And that's a hard pill to swallow too. After you've gone, you've gone a significant amount, almost a full hour, and something like that happens. It's heartbreaking at times. It kind of makes you question, not life, it makes you question RaceRoom at times. But it just is what it is, unfortunately. But with that, we're now under 30 minutes. So we are into the final third of this race. I believe all pit stops, if folks are doing one stops, those have all been accomplished. I don't know if anyone's out there on 2 stops. But I guess we'll find out, very soon. Brashad was able to get around Mark Sutton there for P16 overall. Emery is very close to Medici through the Andretti hairpin. Might be able to get something, not through turn 3 or 4, but maybe after 5 up to hill to 6. We'll stick here for just a bit. Oh my, yes. A heck of a run there off turn 4. That thing's like a freight train moving at the moment. Through turn 5. Let's go into the car. Let's put it in. It's a beautiful sounding vehicle as well. So all the various times for the GT1s, Jeff Hooton's about 6.5 seconds behind Keshin Hall in P1 overall, P1 in the GT1 class. As we see Emery go wide there, may have gone wide to allow the GT1 to go by, which was, not sure who that was going by him. It wasn't Keshin Hall. Must have been Carlos. So Emery went a little wide there, maybe to let Carlos go by through turn 11, but that unfortunately did not help Emery at all with his position battle there. Let's see. Lester Lawland here. Who is he? Where is he? What's he up to? Let's just jump to him. Not really sure why. So I don't think we made it very far when I was trying to go through the field. So your P1 GT2, P6 overall, Lyndon Bigman, he has about a 6.7 second lead over Tyler, even though I'm seeing Brashad Murphy has fallen into space. No, we did for a second, now he's back. He also has 100% damage. It says 100% engine damage. It looks like it from the front of his car. I'm not sure what's happened to him. But Lyndon Bigman, your P1 GT2 overall, not overall, GT2 P1 leader. There you go. P6 overall, 6.6 seconds ahead of Tyler here, P2 in the class, P7 overall. Sandwiched in between them, they have Carlos De La Torre. He's P6, which, as you can see, he's right there on the back end of Tyler. P6 of the GT1 class. That's also the last position of the GT1 class. Back in P3, you got Nicholas Cortez. There you go. He might be on a two-stop strategy, perhaps. So he's taking a pit. He is P3 in the class at the moment. Keith Hurst will just follow him. He should probably retake that over to be your new P3 in the GT2 class. Yes, he will. This is a perfect time to do all well. Sean Patterson, he is 40 seconds behind Nicholas Cortez in the pits, so he probably will not move up to P4. I would assume Nicholas can get out before Sean shows up. Now about 30 seconds. I say that, but then again, crazy things will happen. Let's keep an eye on that. Diego here, P6 in the class, P12 overall. He's about 8 seconds, almost 9 seconds behind Sean Patterson. Fast Medici, P7 in the class, P13 overall. Nicholas Cortez, drive-through penalty. That is heartbreaking with only about 24 minutes left. You have Fast Medici there, 6 seconds back, so something's happened with... Emirates probably had to get out of the way for some GT1 vehicles. He's about 6 seconds behind, and P14 overall, P8 in the class. We'll keep moving back. Brashad Murphy with a bunch of damage on the front. Was floating in space ever so slightly. I see a bunch of yellow flags. What's going on here? I'm not sure what's going on here. Mark Sutton, P10 in the class, P16 overall. About 5 seconds behind Brashad Murphy. Lester Lawland, P11 in the class, P17 overall. About 35 seconds behind Mark Sutton there. And then the last person running in the standings is Pardo. He's P12 in the class, P18 overall, and about 6.9, about 7 seconds behind Lester Lawland. And beyond that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have disconnected or DNF'd or whatever you want to say. So now Jeff Hooten here is in the pit with 22 minutes to go. He might surrender P2 as Christopher Barnes is coming down the straight now. So Christopher Barnes is going to take over. As you see Jeff Hooten moving back there, Jeff Hooten may have done fuel only, so he'll drop one place to P3. Thomas Cowart back here, P4, will not obviously be close enough to catch up to Jeff Hooten. And then very quickly we went through that, but Bernie Puebla there, P5 in class, P5 overall. He's about 35 seconds behind Thomas Cowart. And that's really your run-through of the field. Kind of scattered around, of course, because that's how multi-class usually happens. But that's where we are. We have how many people left? We have 18 people still out there running. With the unfortunate disconnects of some. I see flags popping up. What's going on here? Who's that? Sean Patterson. Looks like he has had a spin through the corkscrew. And that will move him down to P6 in the class, P12 overall. But Sean's been running pretty well all evening, so he might push Diego to the limit there. He might be able to get at least one position back. And once again, for everyone still watching on Twitch, for those still in the chat, thank you for being here. As always, it's always fun when I have other folks in here. Whether you're not talking or I'm not just talking to myself. I'm kind of talking to someone as I'm doing this. So, thank you for stopping by as always. And also remember, we have our YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber. I'm talking just a subscriber, not a member where you're paying us for anything. Well, we don't need that. But at least subscribe to the channel. That way you can find our stuff on the YouTube side of things, and you'll get a higher quality video of everything we do on YouTube. So find your way over there if you want to. If you're a YouTube, if you use YouTube at all, you probably do, maybe. Who's that going backwards? Fast Medici. Oh, jump up there. Oh my goodness. We caught the very end of that, but that was a crazy rejoin, which almost took the back end out of Emery Anderson there. But that has... Who's that right behind him? So that is not a positional car right behind Medici. I'm not sure who that is. That's Pardo. Okay. So that's P18 right there behind... the P14 car, but that was, I'm sure for Emery, that was a little scary. Auto director jumped away from that, so I tried to get back to that as fast as I could, and we saw the very end of it. Could have been very disastrous for a few cars there, so luckily it's not. Especially with 18 minutes to go, that'd be another heartbreak to have something like that happen with so little time left. So we saw how Diego got in front of Sean here after Sean having his spin through the corkscrew. Now Sean is kind of pestering Diego here to try to get by. Pestering in a good way. I don't want to come off like I'm. Who is? Oh, Mark Sutton is floating around. That's unfortunate if he's completely disconnected. We'll have to see if he comes back or not. But Sean pestering in a good way, I will say. Diego trying to get his position back. We'll see if you can do it. Let's click on Mark one more time. So Mark is still floating. So Mark, unfortunately for him, is probably gone. And, I mean, that's a shame when it happens to anybody. Let's see more flags. What's going on here? Oh, it's probably just where Mark is. Mark is out there floating somewhere underneath the... oh, there was someone going around sideways, which that was Mr. Cowart. Able to pick that up kind of fast, so went through the turn after the corkscrew. little too hot perhaps. Got sideways. Didn't hit anything though. Was able to jump back on and didn't lose any places. So he's still there, 4th behind Jeff Hooten. That might have been Linden. That was not Linden. That was someone else. That was Nicholas Cortez there going by Cowart there at the very end. No harm to Cowart's overall race. Sean here. Is as close as you can be. I'm going inside let's go to the cockpit. This is Corvette on Corvette. Sean gets a slowdown penalty. Oh my goodness. Very close action. That turn right there, turn 6, is almost as scary as the corkscrew. Sean gets by. Manages to hold it through the corkscrew, and I think he is there. There's Diego behind him, so he is away. Don't believe there was any touch. There was no contact. Oh, Diego. Something happened to Diego there where he just kind of flew through that breaking point off into the gravel sunset. So we are under 15 minutes left. 15 minutes to go. We don't have many changes at the top. Keshen Hall still your overall P1, GT1, P1. Christopher Barnes P2 for both sides. Jeff Hooten P3 for overall and class. Lyndon Bigman P6 overall, but P1 in the GT2 class. Tyler there P7 overall, P2 in the class. And then Keith Hurst P9 overall, but then P3 in the class. 15 minutes to go. I believe all pit stops are done for everybody, even folks on a 2-stop. Somebody had a drive-through. I think that was Nicholas Cortez. So he must have already done it. Sitting there in P11 overall, P5 in the class. Auto director doesn't really know what to do because everyone is very spread out. Looks like the biggest spread is about 64 seconds between Sean Patterson and Keith Hurst there, P3, P4 of the GT2 class. Nicholas Cortez is actually working on Sean Patterson here for position, so this is the closest battle. I believe Sean probably had to let Thomas Cowart obviously get by, which slowed him down and has brought Nicholas Cortez right to his back bumper. So here is a battle for position. And as I always like to do, let's move it inside. That way you can kind of see what's going on here. Oh my. So kind of a heavy contact there from Nicholas Cortez on Sean Patterson. Obviously not heavy enough to really push either one off the track, but significant enough that Sean probably felt that. And it, who was that going sideways? That was Nicholas Cortez, wasn't it? I believe so. So Nicholas Cortez had a little issue there at the corkscrew. A little bit of a spin, obviously a big slowdown for him. That's brought Diego right there to him, battling for P5 and 6 in the class. We are coming down to almost 10 minutes left. Keshan Hall there has completed 57 laps, or is on lap 57. And I'm not sure how far back some of these folks lap-wise might be from him. I'd have to assume that the GT2s or the GT1s are all on the same lap, I would think. Let's see, Keith Hurst has a slowdown penalty, so does Emery Anderson there. So Diego is still the closest on track for position. And where is Emery? Emery is kind of getting some slowdowns after slowdowns there. He's about 5 seconds back from Diego and Nicholas Cortez. Up there ahead, P11, 12, and 13. But he's also got some back markers probably in his way, which that is probably Lester Lawlin. Yes, it is. So Emery's going to have to get his way around Lester, which obviously Diego and Nicholas Cortez have done. And Keith Hurst there, P3 in the class. He's mixed in with this as well. So there is quite the mix-up of positions with each other, which that's why kind of making it hard for me to figure out who may be, well, who's not a lap down, but how many laps someone might be down. So I'm not even going to try to figure that out. So Diego has gotten by Nicholas Cortez there and is pulling away a little bit. No, he didn't get by Nicholas Cortez. My apologies. He was trying to get by. Was he trying to get by Sean Patterson? I can't remember now. No, I think Diego was working on Nicholas Cortez. Yeah, after Nicholas had his spin in the corkscrew. Ed, yo, how we doing, John? And Ed, yes, Emery is doing a very good job of trying to stay close to those in front of him there. Emery's had a couple, I won't say issues. He's had a couple things happen to him this evening, being pushed off there at turn 4 ever so slightly. I think he's had like a spin or two, perhaps, but I mean, he was a lot further down. He's definitely come back up. He's what, 7th in the class, 13th overall. Finally got by Lester Lawlin there. You're right, the back marker. He was behind him for quite a while. And Lester might have just moved out of the way there for them all. Lester's also, at some point, somewhere, sometime, somehow, has caught up to Pardo. And they are battling for 16 and 17 overall and 10-11 in the class. Everyone behind Lawlin here in 17 has DNF'd from the race. Nicholas Cortez. That's a weird camera angle. I don't know what happened to that. Either way, he is might be gifted a little bit there from Diego, going a little wide. Oh, look at this action. Rubbing is racing, as they say. And he just rubbed his way all the way across Diego, down the side, and in front of. Diego's getting a little run there. I thought maybe Nicholas was potentially giving him the spot back, but he's not. Not that he should or wants to or whatnot. Either way, he's now moved up to P5 in the class, P11 overall, and Diego's going to try to keep up with him and maybe get the spot back within these last 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Keston Hall, I'm going to jump up. We haven't really talked with him a whole lot. We really haven't talked about the whole GT1 class really much during this race because they have been so spread out for the entire race. They've made their way through the GT2 class. And definitely there's been more battles for position or more close battles for position in the GT2 class. But Keston Hall here on lap 62, about 4 minutes left in this race. He has a 34-second lead over Christopher Barnes in P2. So, knock on wood, if everything goes smoothly for him, no issues, he should win this race by quite a bit. As we say that, Christopher Barnes, like I said, 34 seconds back. He's, where's he headed up to? He's now headed up to the corkscrew. So he's P2 in the class, P2 overall. Jeff Hooten is even further back, 22 seconds back from Christopher there in P2. On back from him, which is the closest GT1 to each other. Thomas Cowart here, about 2.6 seconds from Jeff Hooten in P3. So, not that I'm anticipating. Oh, he's gotten really no. I think that's yeah, that's Carlos. That's actually the P6 GT1 in Thomas's way, and he's not getting out of his way. So that's definitely holding Thomas up, because that is not a battle for position on either side. So that is interesting to see. But Thomas was trying to catch up to Jeff Hooten within the last 2.5 minutes, but probably won't be able to now. As you can see, he is fighting with Carlos as a back marker there within the GT1 class. Oh, then Thomas gets a little too much on the inside, a little too much grass. And that is that. Bernie Puebla, 36 seconds behind all that was happening there, but he is in P5 overall, P5 within his GT1 class. Has run a really solid race. I don't think I've seen any issues or any personal incidents with Bernie. So a very solid race from his perspective. Lyndon Bigman here, P1 in the GT2 class, P6 overall. He has a 5-second lead over Tyler in the P2 of the GT2 class, P7 overall. Let's see, I'm just trying to figure out where Keston's coming up to the corkscrew. So when he passes the start-finish line, that will be the last lap of the race. And right, Lyndon Bigman's there, so they're pretty well spread apart where I should be able to catch both of them. Come across the start-finish line for their wins within the respected classes. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Kind of losing my mind at the moment. You saw the GT2 there get way far out to let him by. Yes, John, you are correct. Thomas there was getting the short end of the stick with the GT1 back marker, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes. It's not your way. As now Thomas is about 6 seconds back when he was about 2 not too long ago. So there was Keshin going through the corkscrew for the final time. Coming through turn 10, up to turn 11, Keshin Hall with really no issues the entire race. Running a fantastic race. He's going to come across the start-finish line as your overall winner, as well as your GT1 class winner. Congratulations to him. Very well done. Very well done. We're going to see Christopher Barnes. Where's Lyndon? Lyndon's way back there. So Christopher Barnes through the corkscrew as well. Turn 10. And he is going to come across as your P2 podium placement for the GT1 class as well. Great race for him. Which Jeff Hooten should be the final podium position for the GT1 class. Coming across here, we'll follow him to the line. Because Lyndon, oh no, we'll jump into Lyndon. Good thing I did. So Lyndon Bigman coming through with your P1 class winner of the GT2 class. Congratulations to him. He's going to be P6 overall. Awesome race. Awesome race that he did this twice today. So in VR. Excellent stuff. Tyler there. We unfortunately missed him going across, but he comes across as your P2. Keith Hurst. Don't think he's finished yet, or maybe he has, but he should be your He'll be your P3 because Sean Patterson was. Man, look at this thing, so fast going through already. So look at it very quickly. There is your final standings of the race, overall and class. Position 1, Keshin Hall, fantastic race. Christopher Barnes, Jeff Hooten round out your overall and your class GT1, P2, P3. Lyndon Bigman, P1, 6 overall of the GT2 class. Tyler Egley, P2 in the class, P7 overall. Keith Hurst, P3 of the GT2 class, and P9 overall. So fantastic work to everyone who made it. Unfortunate for those who did not make it. But unfortunately, it's just kind of what happens at times. So that's that. We saw some great racing out there. We saw some quote unquote rubbing is racing. Yeah, we saw some close battles all the way through the field, especially at the beginning. But then the GT1 class kind of feathered out there, and the GT2 class are the ones that had the most positions for battles. So fantastic stuff. Fantastic race. Congratulations to the podium winners of both classes. Congratulations to all those that finished. Like I said, unfortunate for those who either had, got into server issues or ping or disconnects or damage or whatnot. So those that did not make it, unfortunate. So hopefully everyone that followed along here on Twitch found this to be enjoyable. For the NSU madness. I don't even know when that is. Ed, I'll have to figure that out. Is that Friday? Oh, that is Friday. I should be around for that, I think. But to all of you here, all the followers on Twitch, everyone that was in the chat, everyone who followed along and watched along this evening, thank you to you. I try to make this as enjoyable as possible, even if it tends to maybe be boring at times. It is what it is, but we do this for the people out there. I don't do this for me. I don't do this for me to try to be some type of broadcaster in any way, shape, or form. So for those that are running the races, we do this for them, just to showcase what they're doing out there, especially for 90 minutes on Laguna Seca. So thank you to all you here on Twitch. If anyone's watching this later on YouTube, whether it be tomorrow or the next day or 3 weeks or 3 years from now, whenever you watch this on YouTube, thank you to you. If you've made it this far and you're still listening to this, thank you as well. If you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, find the other side of the streaming world and make sure to follow or subscribe to our North America Race Room Discord channels. Anything we do on Twitch gets uploaded to YouTube in a higher resolution, usually by next day, or if not by next day, as soon as possible. Find us on Twitter at NRaceRoom. That's just a big N or little N. November. N for November. RaceRoom. Instagram. North America Race Room. Find us on Instagram. Find the Discord if you're not already a part of it. We're doing great things. We're getting a lot of people together on the Americas side of Race Room to gather, to race, to have as much fun as possible. Trying to grow the population of the Discord, but then also try to grow the population of Race Room itself in the Americas, in those time zones, to give everyone a chance to race as much as possible with as many people as possible. So find your way in the Discord. That way you can stay up to date with all the ranked information. You can stay up to date with all the non-ranked information, any season championships that the community's doing, all of our community races that we're doing. Like Ed says there, we're doing some NSU stuff on Friday. I actually need to even see what we're doing. I think we might be doing a Daytona Oval, which is madness, which is just crazy. Cars will probably die out before they finish. That's going to be hilarious to see. It's going to be fun to do. So find your way to any of our outlets that we have. Interact with us. Tell us what we're doing good. Tell us what we're doing bad. If we're doing something bad, we'll work on making it better, or we will work on fixing it. If we're doing something good, then we'll continue to improve on what we're doing good. So either way, I've probably talked enough for everyone in here. Thanks again for joining. Thanks again for watching at a later time, if you are watching at a later time. We appreciate the people who do the races. We also appreciate the people who watch our stuff. We appreciate everyone. We do this for everyone. We don't do it for ourselves. We do it for everyone out there who either wants to take in our content or participate in our content. So either way, you're appreciated. Remember that, please. So I'm going to call it a night here on the West Coast of where I am. Happy that the hotel Wi-Fi decided to hold up. Hope everything looked good. And, we'll see you next time. We'll see you on Friday. Hopefully we can stream and be a part of that. And we'll try to get as many people in there as possible. So it should be fun. And after tonight, so tomorrow, look out for the new ranked schedule. And I'm assuming it'll probably be crazy stuff again for next week. So that's what we'll do. So everyone have a great evening. Whenever you're watching this, have a great whatever, as I always say. And stay safe, stay healthy. And we'll do it again. Alexi. Oh, I see Alexi. Hey, thank you. Thank you for joining as well. I'm going to call it quits. And we'll see everyone on Friday. So have a good one out there. And later on.